Do you agree with LeBron? I certainly do.
I do not. The NCAA stinks if you're a basketball prodigy, which there's about 5 a year. There's 369 Division I programs. There's 12 guys a year that'll make the NBA out of the draft on average. 6 of them are European, so 18 total. If you're a basketball prodigy, it stinks. Because, you're great. But you know who's not? The other 4,500 kids on campus. This system is not built for Alabama's running backs or Kansas's power forwards.
Got it.
It's built for a tennis player at the University of Oregon.
It's not built for the kids that generate the money and pay the bills. It's not built for them. It's built for all the kids who look nothing like the guys that are generating most of the money. And that's why LeBron James has a problem. That's why Steven Jackson has a problem.
Right.
That's why, and again, I was no prodigy. I was a mediocre Mid-American Conference football player. But it's why I have a problem. Because it needs to be fair for the people that generate the money and are footing the bills for the softball team and the wrestling team and everybody else to live like they're basketball players generating the money. And they're not.
And they have to stay on campus for a whole 9 months until they become millionaires. By the way, all these basketball prodigies, 9 months. How terrible. For 9 months, we'll take care of you. And then we'll, by the way, promote you, and then you'll become a millionaire. It's not the world's worst life.
Look, you're missing the fact that there's a lot of football players that are ready for the NFL after their freshman or sophomore year, that are also fronting and paying the bills and generating the revenue, and it's not fair to them either. And so there's a lot of guys. Look, you think Eric Dickerson wasn't ready to be an NFL player at 19, 20 years old?
But if I'm Florida and I have 85 division players on scholarship, I'm just taking University of Florida. I could take Clemson, I could take anybody. About 7 kids a year get arrested or get in trouble. I have to pay for those too. I have to pay for the attorney as the school. I got to pay for the PR people. Schools pay all the bills. Well, there are as many. Just think about how great Alabama football is. Every year they get 25 new players. 5 guys a class deliver. 6 get hurt, 2 flunk out, 2 are bad guys. But my point is, this system, which everybody hates, it's not built for LeBron. He's like an alien. He's an outlier. It's not built for somebody as talented as you guys. It's not built for Westbrook, Paul Pierce.
It should be.
Well, you're looking for, just sometimes when you're 19 years old, you aren't paid what you should be paid. And I understand the complaint from the prodigies.
For you to say.
Colin, is so much bigger than that, though. Because even if you don't end up being a professional athlete, there are those Ed O'Bannons. There are the guys that make so much money for the university that are great college players. Right. Whatever particular university you went to, if it's a UCLA, if it's Ohio State, if it's Duke, yes, I want to go to school there for the education, but I want to be a part of that basketball experience. I want to be a part of that football experience. And to say that once these guys are done, all they have is their education, I'm going to go on record and say some of these guys are dumb as a doorknob. And they have no place in college other than to go get buckets or to score touchdowns or do something. Now, I, on the other hand, was a guy who took advantage of my degree, have a history degree from UCLA, got the most out of it. It's not for everybody. Right. And it doesn't stop these coaches from recruiting them because it knows it's paychecks, it's money that they can make. And what it's made, Colin, is a nasty, disgusting system in which guys have to hide the money in which they get paid, in which those agents work under the table, in which these AAU teams and these shoe companies get these players before they become pros. I don't want to throw away all the other sports, as we talked about. I think there's a form of revenue sharing. There are many different ways you can dissect to jump into this, but you have to start somewhere. And Sean Miller right now is this guy at Arizona that's just paid DeAndre $100,000, which is just so unheard of. I wish you'd go after the big fish. Name them all. Name UCLA, name Duke, name Ohio State, name Kentucky, all these athletes, and blow this thing over and make the NCAA have to make a change. I don't know how Sean Miller's default when the NCAA knows, because I'm sure they have phone records and understanding of what's going on. So I just don't buy it. Something has to change.
Me not going to college, I just look at it as a lot of these 5-star players that they making all this money off of, they need this money now. They need money now so as they come out of high school. And providing for their family, it's a sense of urgency to them, not the college. Yeah. So that's why I feel they definitely need to be compensated some kind of way, because they're used to taking care of, we're used to providing for our families. Even in high school as young men, You know, a lot of us come from homes where our father's not there. So we take on that burden of being the father and the protector and provider for that home in high school. So leaving that home and going to another state, it's more pressure on you to provide for that home. So you definitely have to make some kind of income to provide for yourself and for your home. And that's a lot of stress that come on those guys. That's why they need to get paid coming out of high school.
Listen, the NCAA's got its issues. And I have no problem with players getting paid. I mean, I think the way to solve it would be, and it wouldn't solve your problem, but you know, if you're Reggie Bush and there's a way to say, okay, digitally, sports purchasing, he made us $2.8 million. When he's done, cut him a check. Now, it doesn't solve your problem for immediate money, but I'm for the digital rights. But let me just throw this at you, is that when you look at this entire thing, March Madness is going to have sold out arenas. Most people can't name 4 players. Kansas sells out every game, regardless of individual players. Some of this is traditional, and
there's no question, but it was built off the backs of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the people before that. But Colin, college basketball is underachieving right now. It's not as relevant as it used to be. And again, I wish that LeBron James, Adam Silver, Mark Emmert, if these guys understood that having a healthy college basketball is actually good for the NBA.
I agree.
And if the NBA should be an active participant in compensating these guys while they're on campus, because it's good for them if guys build a brand in college and bring that to the NBA. That's better for the NBA. There is a solution here. People just have to be creative. If we can put a man on the moon, we can figure out the NCAA.
By the way, but just to show you what a punching bag the NCAA has been, Stan Van Gundy yesterday came out and said the NCAA is racist for not letting kids play. That's an NBA rule. The one and done is an NBA rule.
He misspoke, but he's right about the NCAA amateurism system.
Okay.
He misspoke.
Okay, but in fairness, he was ripping the NCAA. The NBA
you gotta
created
take his
that.
comments in totality. He basically is saying the NCAA system of amateurism is unfair to a significant portion of these African American athletes. He's on message. He's on point.
All right.